What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Mystic Watch, and today we got a brand new video. We're going to be focusing on Tokyo Ghoul Dark War Beginner's Guide, but specifically we're going to be looking at RC levels. Now today's video is going to be focusing on how to raise your RC and just RC in general, surrounding it, things that affect it, and things of that nature. Now before I go forward, I just wanted to say that if you haven't checked out my first video on the Beginner's Guide, be sure to check that out. And other than that, the other things that I'm going to be focusing on in future videos are things like Arena, a Ghoul Expulsion, or something else, Cochlear Crusade. And if there's anything else you guys want me to focus on, let me know, because I can always make another video on something even if I missed it now. So those are the things that I have in mind. But if there's anything else that you guys are struggling on, let me know. So today's video is going to be focusing on RC. And I'm going to be explaining the things that affect your RC, as well as, how to properly raise your RC, or the most efficient way to raise your RC. So starting off, things that actually affect your RC are your gear, and your gear has a couple of parts to it, right? You have your overall level of gear, you have your refinement of gear, you have your star upgrade, and then you also have, if we jump down here since we're on the same page, you have RC levels. You have your RC, like the level itself, you have the refinement of RC, and then you have, so that's just covering the gear and things like that. You have your character level, and then you have your, I'm missing something, you have your relationships, right? Those things put together give your character your total RC, or not that, those are the things that affect your character's RC, and then your RC level is a reflection of your character's overall stats, right? So things, and I'm going to cover this very briefly, is that things that don't affect your RC are some set bonuses. For example, the 4 set bonus for raid sets don't affect your RC. Damage amplification has no effect on RC, because it doesn't actually change your attack stat. It affects your character in game, but you won't see it reflected in the attack stat here. So just because, for example, if I had a full, I'll actually show you because I just unlocked it. I have a Master Raid set over here, and my RC went down, right? But the, thinking about it is that even though my RC went down, a 12% increase in damage is pretty big, right? But technically, I would assume that my RC would go up even if it was a level 1 gear. But that's not the case, since damage amplification isn't actually directly, noted in here. Now, other than that, let me actually go over the different sets real quickly. You have the raid set, you have the defense set, and you have the balance set. Now all these things have, they're pretty straightforward. The raid set focuses on damage increase, defense focuses on HP increase, and then balance is a mixture of the two, and all of them have a different set skill. Balance having a chance to stun, you have raid having a chance to deal damage twice, and then defense having a chance to heal. So those are the 3 different sets and set bonuses. And pretty much, I found that the DPS and the defense set tend to be the best, and I could be wrong simply because, congratulations to whoever pulled that Yamari. But what I was going to say is that the balance set tends to be the weakest in my opinion, because you really don't need a mixture of both. Like, my Arima, you can take for example, he has a 9,000 attack stat, whereas my Sachi has a pretty much 34,000 attack stat, but the HP difference is over 100k, and that's kind of what I wanted to note here, is that the defense set tends to be better because you can just have your units, like, my Arima is going to tank for my team, and then my Sachi will do all my damage, and the balance set is kind of somewhere in between, but I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying that I found that these sets to be better. Now, what was I gonna go over next? let's actually go over relationships because it's very straightforward. Relationships are probably the most overlooked way of increasing your RC. And put it simply, you just need to have these units unlocked. You don't need them on your team to have these relationship increases. Every unit has 9 relationships, I believe. 3 for every color. So 3 for green, 3 for blue, and then 3 for purple. And then there's no, legendary relationships. But, I was gonna say, every relationship, it depends on your character's, I don't know, what do you call this? The typing, right? So the DPS units, all their relationships are 20% HP increases, and then the other units are all, both tank and support units have HP increased relationships. So the DPS units have a 20% attack increase, whereas the tank units and support units have a 30% HP increase for their relationships. And then these things will just, they just stack. So I have 9 relationships for a potential of 180% attack increase at the end of the day, which is a really big number. And that's kind of why my RC is so high, is because at the end of the day, when you keep on raising your levels and your gear and everything like that, that the bonuses from these percents, they get better and better, right? So when you only have, 100, if you only have 100 attack, a 20% increase is only, 120. But if you have 100,000 attack, you're getting a 20,000 attack increase at the end of the day. So the more the game goes on, your RC actually kind of grows exponentially. So, all of a sudden, like, I'm at 277,000 right now, but I can, increase that very easily compared to someone at a lower level, right? Like, for me to go up 30,000 RC is not a big deal compared to, someone who's just starting the game who needs to go up 30,000 RC. Now, the other thing I wanted to go over is that RC shows how strong your units are, but RC isn't the end-all be-all measurement for whose team is better. And a good example of this is that when climbing arena, if you have a well-balanced team, you'll find out that you can more often than not beat teams that don't have any synergy but just have a lot of strong units. And I did the same thing when climbing up. Like, I would beat people with 20, 30,000 more RC than me, just simply because my team was set up better. And the reason for that is that DPS units have the highest RC in the game by default. So if you put the same amount of gear, resources, and everything into your units equally, at the end of the day, DPS units will just have the most RC. So that doesn't mean that you don't include the other units like support units and tanks. It means that you have to balance yourself out, because I can just have 6 DPS units on here, and my RC would be like 350,000. But that isn't, that isn't a good team. I'll just lose like someone with 200,000 RC. Whew. But the other things that I wanted to go over is that now when it comes down to gear, in my opinion, I don't think you should be running two, pretty much what I'm doing here is something that you want to avoid. Having 2 pieces of a set and 2 pieces of another set. You typically want 3 pieces of a set, or if you can, just all 4 pieces. The reason I have it this way is because I don't have a full purple set to give to Tara, or Tadara, I don't know how to say the name. And the only purple sets that I have left are raid sets, and I don't want to be giving him that, right? Because he needs HP. So for that reason, I'm running 2 and 2, because he just gets raw stats this way. And then, what does he get? He gets attack from here, 10%, which is not that big of a deal. But if I have, over time, I'll finish up the raid set. What do I have here? That's defense. That's champion, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, let's see here. If you can, I try to include, all 4 pieces of a set. Like, for example, if you have 2 legendary pieces and you have a full set of purple, run the full set of purple, right? It's just better. Now, the other thing I want to go over is the stats on the equipment. You know, it gets expensive to increase these over time, but keeping your equipment levels as high as possible will make a big difference as well. If you take a look at the levels here, I'm at 63,000 RC, and if I increase but by 4 levels, I went up like nothing. But that's because this doesn't really do much to me. Increasing life, like increasing your gloves, is probably the highest way to increase your overall RC on DPS units. Well, it is, because gloves are the only thing that give attack stats. So you want to always focus on for DPS units, you always want to focus on your gloves. For defense units, you always want to focus on your necklaces. And over here, okay, 36,766. Okay, that went up a little bit. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is the refinement level. So refinement increases your overall attack. Like it's a pretty big increase, right? Because let's see, I can't actually increase these anymore. Let's see, if I level this up once, we'll see the difference, right? If I level this up once, the defense doubles. I actually am not sure. Okay, let's see. Does the hit rate ever go up? I don't think so. Okay, be it. Let me actually get this up anyways to 100. Holy, I just burned through 2 million gold in a second. Okay, so refinement raises, it's not more for your primary, like every piece of equipment has two sets of stats on them, right? They have their primary stat, which is your, for example, for boots it's magic defense, physical defense, HP, and attack. But refinement increases your overall, like your it increases both, but the biggest thing, it increases your secondary stat. And in this case, it's crit. You know, it's crit again over here. You have hit rate, which is pretty much your chance to hit them, because other people will have dodge. So having more hit rate will mean like you will hit them. And then yeah, so you know, increasing these, let's see, I want to see how much increasing the secondary stat actually matters. So I'm at 64,154. Let's just do this. Okay, so it's not too much of an increase, but it is an increase nonetheless. Get this up. And see how much that actually increases at the end of the day. Oh, come on, get that over. There we go. Okay. Okay, that was a pretty good amount. I got 1,000 RC off of it. But the next thing, this is probably the hardest thing to level up, is your star level. Because it requires you to, so these pieces over here, star levels have a pretty huge jump in stats. Like maxing out your star level is gonna be like the biggest thing ever. So you get these flyers, or whatever you want to call them. Let me actually, from organization trials, you can buy them from the shop. They rank up equipment for over here, 1 and 2, and then I have to get my organization up to 4 to unlock this one. But you can also get them from story mode as well. But overall, those are the things that increase your stuff. Like I said, if you are a DPS unit, you want to focus on your gloves, and everyone else, you just want to focus on your necklace and then your other stuff. Your gloves is like the last thing to worry about. But those are the main concepts on how to raise your RC and everything kind of related to RC. Hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. If there's anything that I missed or anything else you want me to go over, be sure to let me know down below. And of course, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.